So I'm headed to my son's back to school night, so this should be fun. Um, Not much going on, to be honest with you. The one thing I was talking to my son on the way home from school today, and like for me, it just doesn't make any sense. Not business related, but so I was asking the classes that he has. He only has gym 1 day a week, so he's in Catholic school, right? So he has gym 1 day a week, and he was saying he's Spanish 1 day a week, and I'm like, well, both of them are just a waste, in my opinion. Like, how are you supposed to learn Spanish off of 1 day a week, right? And same thing with gym. I'm pretty sure we had it several days a week. It wasn't all the time, but I feel like it was like 2 or 3 days a week back when I was in school. But then again, everything's completely different. But the thing that makes no sense to me, and yes, he is in Catholic school, so like I guess it sort of makes sense, but to me it doesn't make any sense at all. But you're in, and then he has art 1 day a week as well, which that is what it is. Um, but Spanish, right? I firmly believe, like, especially like with this supplying and everything that we're doing now, I'm realizing more and more that I should have paid attention in Spanish class, and I probably should have learned more Spanish, just because like it's it's the language that's coming up, right? And I should have paid attention more. But like he has Spanish 1 day a week, but he has religion, and I'm like, how many? I was asking him like, what other classes do you have like every day? And he's like, it's pretty much like English, math, and science. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what about classes that you have like multiple days a week, right? And he's like, religion. I'm like, how many days do you have religion? 4 days, right? I understand he's in Catholic school. However, how are you only teaching Spanish 1 day a week and expecting them to learn a language off of 1 day a week? But yet we're devoting, and again, I know we're in Catholic school, and I'm not religious whatsoever. So I think I've talked about it in other videos, but I am not religious. I don't believe in anything. My personal viewpoints on everything is that if you believe in something and it helps you, great. If it helps you to become a better person, great. But I just don't want it shoved down my throat, which is fine. Like I can deal with whatever. My father-in-law was, he was Catholic, and then he went to Christian, then he went like born again Christian. Um, and they were like some of the best people that I have ever known in my life. But for me personally, I don't feel as though I need a religion to basically tell me how to be a good person. That's just what it comes down to. So anyway, that's where my philosophy, and like my wife is Catholic, and the reason why we haven't gone to a Catholic school is one, the school system, it's really not that bad here, but it's really not that good. And but here we are. But yeah, like going back to it, why? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. Because I think at his other school, he was at Friends, which was a Quaker school. But I think they really just did Fridays, which was like they had this. Um, I think it was like for 45 minutes. They did this whole, or maybe it wasn't 45 minutes. I forget how long it was, but they basically it was like I forget what I don't know what exactly they did. I know there was a long period of silence because that would drive him crazy sitting still. Um, but it was 1 day a week, and he was able to get all the other shit, on top of it. But now we're in Spanish 1 day a week, and like whatever. So anyway, that's where we're at. But yeah, that's really about it. I did another video with the progress of the with the inside, which is going on pretty well. And then kind of going back to Spanish, the wholesale thing, right? And where the contractors are coming in. Like I can't tell you how many times they come in and there's they have no English, like whatsoever. So fortunately, we have Miguel that does our he helps with the gates and whatnot, and does an awesome job. And unfortunately, we can keep on pulling him. But like, definitely going forward, we have to have whoever is going to be in the next hire for the customer service side. They have to know Spanish. Like they just have to. And the reason is, I guess, so you can apply this to your business as well. Is we're basically just giving the customer what they want. There's a lot of these suppliers that the ones that I know of that are our competitors at this point, they're kind of doing the same thing we're doing. Like if there's someone that only speaks Spanish, then they grab someone from, inside the warehouse or whatever, and then they're helping them. And me personally, I feel like, you're leaving out a whole segment of people, right? So anyway, so that's the next thing we're doing. So it's basically at the end of the day, we just keep on giving people what they want. So we'll have some that actually know Spanish, and because that's what they want. They want to be treated the same as the other contractors, and and it's kind of bullshit that they're not. Like I understand the philosophy, like if you're in this country, like you gotta, like you should learn the language, which I 100% agree with. Like I personally would not go to another country. Like we're thinking at some point later in life, like I don't want to be in Jersey. I want to be in I basically want to try to find a place that has I want to be near the ocean. I want to be near the mountains. Like that's personally what I want to do. And like how if I was going to go to, like, the one place we're looking at is like Puerto Rico, right? And the one thing I really like to Puerto Rico is, and we got to get back there, but basically the one area, it's like where it's a high end area where a lot of Americans move. And what they have is, they have, it's actually in a Ritz Carlton resort. I don't know why I'm going the whole long ass way about this, but it's a Ritz Carlton resort, and then they have like, I think there's like a golf course, there's a water park with like a lazy river. There's an indoor and an outdoor gym. Like it literally has everything. I think it's got one or two lakes on the property. Of course, it's right next to the beach, and then it's gated and all this other kind of shit. But for me, if I was going to move to Puerto Rico, like I would need to learn how to speak Spanish first. And like I think just coming from me, my natural thing is like I feel like I would be taken advantage of if I didn't know Spanish, right? So I don't know why they don't come over knowing Spanish, but that is what it is. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of like we were giving out the quotes for these 7 companies, and this is something you can use for your own business as well. But like, if you're offering something to your customers and they are basically like, it's still not good enough. In our case, we're giving them 7 prices, and it's cheaper. uh, you know, we're given, I talked about this like 2 videos ago, but like if we're 10 grand, we're giving out pricing for other companies that are like 75 to $8,000. So like they are, between $2 and $2,500 cheaper. And they're like, I still want cheaper. Right. And like we can bitch about it, or we can just give them what they want. So that's what we're doing. Right. So take that with your business as well. And it has to be within reason, obviously. Like um, you can't completely change everything you do for your customers, but you also might be able to realize that maybe you're missing an entire segment of people. And maybe if you pivot a little bit, like that was the big word for 2020, the whole pivot thing. Um, which for most business, like if they did not pivot to more of an online style, system, then they kind of got hurt by that, right? That's not just for contractors, obviously for us, and we started where we're selling over the phone, which really helped and it put us in a good position. But like these restaurants and stuff like that, like I can't tell you, like for literally 2 years, we were just um, online ordering and stuff, and the places that had that shit together, like they did really well. The people that didn't do well, right? And plus, I think a lot of people are looking for new restaurants and stuff like that. So if they didn't have the online presence that they really needed to have, they weren't found. So then they weren't selling more stuff, right? So anyway, I think that's all I got. Um, I'm about to head into the school, waiting for this person to gingerly walk across the crosswalk. And there we go. So anyway, I got to go deal with some parents. I gotta go. I get to go look at the parents that my son's been bitching about because their kids are assholes, and so I have to go deal with that. So hopefully, I'm sure I can contain myself. But then again, like my son lies all the freaking time, so I don't even know what's true. But knowing the dynamics of everything, it's probably mostly true. But on the good side, finally, because these kids they were in the whole, like they were supposed to be in 7th grade, but they were held back like 2 years ago intentionally for sports programs, which really I don't understand whatsoever. Like I played baseball growing up, and then I switched over to golf in high school just because I didn't want to sit there and watch the seniors play. But the amount of effort, I don't even know where the hell I go in at. I'm not looking forward to this. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But anyway, I just pulled up. I have to go get tortured now. And I don't even know where to go. So anyway,